See, look at you. I mean, that's good journaling right there.
Yeah, I needed to do this because, like I said, up until Wednesday I was up about $1,000 on the week, and then Thursday I lost $700, and then yeah, and then today I actually topped it off with the cherry on top, and I lost $300. So
No.
basically a break even week for me. Oh man, once again. But I'm gonna show you exactly what not to do, um, and we're gonna learn from it, right?
You got it.
So starting Monday, right? We started. Let's go Monday. We started the week off with some MP calls. So let's let's act like it's Monday again, right? For the replay mode, right? So this is Friday, and Monday we're about to have our open, so we get ready for the week, right? What do we see on MP? We have a 4-hour inside bar, so I'm gonna mark this, right? So I'm looking for the range, looking for a range breakout here at this level. We come down to the 5 minute. Um, we come down. Let's go to the hour first. So what do we have on the hour, right? Um, we have uh, inverse fair value gap on the hourly, right? And then we also have our CISD on the hourly, right? So this gives me more confirmation that first we're respecting our CISD here. As you can see, we did come back below to get some more liquidity down here, but we did end up respecting our CISD for the most part. We didn't have too many candles below it. We actually, if you look, we really didn't have any candle closes below our CISD here, right? I mean, barely, but I'm trying to mark it exactly where our CISD is. Kind of hard to, somewhere right there. But as you can see, we are respecting it. No candle close. We had it open here, but we closed here. Again, open here, closed here, or opened here, closed here, respecting our CISD, and then once again, open here and close here on this candle. So I'm bullish.
And are you able to just give me like a brief overview? I've been going over notes for CISDs for bullish and bearish, and then finding the fair value gaps. And I was wondering if you could kind of give me like a just brief overview of how you find those ranges.
Yeah, so basically, you want to pair your CISD with the inverse fair value gap every single time, right? So we had this,
Okay.
we had this or we had this fair value gap created. You could really mark it here, right? Because you have one, two, three consecutive candles, and then um, we inversed it, right? But to find our CISD, it's literally just going to be where we're reversing at, where we're gonna change directions. I think it's called. Give me 1 second. There's a. It means something, right? CISD means something.
Change in stock direction, change
The
in,
change in state of delivery.
yes. Okay.
Yes. So
Solving.
it's basically finding the first one-sided candle that indicates a move to the opposite direction, kind of. So
Okay.
so when you have your inverse, it's going to be at the top of the candle that we're inversing. You could mark it at this candle too, but technically we have a wick down here, right? So this is going to be the change in state delivery. So once we get up here, we're going to be changing this state to go higher, and we're delivering higher now above this candle. Like I said, you could mark it here, but I pair it with the inverse so you can get it I just feel more comfortable using this right here. Because if we did use this one, right, I mean, what is it? Like 20 cent difference. So you do get a little bit better of an entry right there.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, and again, so say we have, this is another example. Uh, so say we're looking to inverse this area right here, right? So say we want to inverse this, and our CISD would be at the bottom right here at this candle. And so you would take a short, that would be your entry, right? And then you would look something like that.
Okay. So because that's inverted, the bottom portion of that is where you want to buy, like where you want to start that
Yes,
call.
yes, exactly.
Okay.
In this case, though, it'd be a short, so it'd be a put.
Okay.
So inverses work both ways, right? You don't have to only take inverses to the upside or inverses to the downside. You can use your CISD either way. Like even here,
Okay.
so on the 1 hour time frame, uh, we're looking to inverse this right here, right? But on the hourly, the only CISD we have on the hourly is going to be literally this candle, right? So that's when you kind of go to lower time frame and figure something else out. But you know, it's still delivering higher from that point on. So let's go back. We can go back to our Monday open, right? So this is Friday again. We have our 4 hour inside mother child candle. Go down to the 1 hour, like I was saying. We have a 1 hour. Like I said, the trend is stronger the higher the time frame, right? So I like looking at I like trying to find inversions and CISDs on the 1 hour, the 30 minute, because you just have a stronger trend. So boom, we have that. So now Monday opens, right? This is, let's see, no, this is still Friday. Okay. Let me go back just a little bit. So this is almost market close, market close. So now, right, this is Monday opening. So now on the 10-minute time frame, we have a candle close above our breakout level, which that's um, that's something I want to see. On the lower time frame, I think, let's see, 30-minute, what do we have? So yeah, I took it a little bit early, right? Because what do we have here? We have another inverse on the 30-minute. You can mark it out here. And then we have our CISD. It's going to be right here. Right, so that's one confluence, two confluence. Another confluence is, well, at the end of market Friday, we came down lower to sweep some more liquidity, right? So we have our liquidity sweep down here. We got a liquidity sweep. We have our inverse. This is all on the 30-minute time frame too. We have our inverse fair value gap, and then we have our CISD. And what do we do, right? When we came back into this 1 hour inverse, what do we do, right? We respected it. We came back into a relevant zone to sweep, and we moved higher. So now what I did, set my position here, aim for highs up here. All I was aiming for, right, like I was kind of telling you last session, is gaps get filled. So we did have a little gap here, nothing crazy, right? But it is a gap, and it's something that the market makers, they aim for, right? So we'll have one TP here, and then maybe we could put, so this is at what, 72.14, maybe another 70 cents right here at 73, right? And then we have another gap up here, right? So maybe we could put before we enter that gap, because sometimes we bounce off gaps too. Maybe before this gap, we'll take profits again, right? So I'm gonna enter the trade. Go take a buy right here, and then this is the 5-minute time frame. So boom. And also, when you look for your CISDs, most of the time you will respect it, right? You will not get a candle close below your CISD if it's respecting your CISD, right? We want to see the CISD get respected. And what happened? Our CISD was respected. Yes, we did come below it, right? But like I mentioned here, we had our 30-minute fair value gap. So all we were doing was getting support from that 30-minute fair value gap to move higher. And then what do we have, right? To hold our positions, a bullish fair value gap. Did we close under it? No, we did not. Did we close under our EMAs? No, we did not. So full TP, or TP1 was hit. Let's extend it a little higher. What do we have here, right? We have another bullish fair value gap. So now we're coming below it. I think this day, right, I had one contract, so all I did was play to this TP, and I just sold my contract there. Why? Because I looked at the contracts for MP, and they're kind of expensive. For one of these contracts, it was like almost $300. So I was like, it's a
I was like,
Monday.
no,
You never know what's gonna happen. Sometimes Mondays are super slow, and but ended up taking it up there. We had a little pullback. Let's see what happens. Right. Again, EMAs held us, right? We also have order blocks too. So order block on the 5-minute here, you could mark that as well. Again, an order block is, we have two bullish candles, but then we have right after we have two bearish candles following two bullish candles, and these bullish candles close above the bearish candles. So you can mark your order block here. If we come below order block, right, you'd probably be starting to come on your EMAs as well. And then what do we do? Right, create another bullish fair value gap. And then again, right, another bullish fair value gap. So this is a really great trade for a Monday. And then yeah, we kind of just consolidated at this level. And then this is market open, I think the next day, yeah. So we did end up continuing higher as well, right? But for the most part, and we actually did end up filling this gap. So that's cool.
That is kind of cool. It just gives you that validation of like, yeah, you're on the right track. Like you called it.
Yeah, and then like I said, because my friend showed me MP, he doesn't day trade it. He just holds leaps. So leaps are kind of like yearly options, right? So instead of buying contracts for Friday, he buys contracts for next year, right? So it's not a bad idea, especially if you want to play the long term. But he was asking me, on this day, he was like, yo, like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, I said, well, we're probably going to see 75, right? We'll see 75 this week, which we ended up seeing it the next day. But I don't know if we're going to hold it. Why? Because we have a gap. And last time we were up at this level, we also have, a pretty big bearish fair value gap up here too. So keep that in mind. Big resistance level right here, as you can see. once we came here multiple times, we ended up dropping down pretty heavy.
Okay.
And then I think the same day we came right back down, ended up going lower. So yeah, exactly. But this was Monday's trade. Um, Solid trade for Monday, you know.
Yeah, no kidding.
So that was pretty cool trade, pretty good trade. And then what else do we take? So we took SPY calls. So we're already green for the day, right? I was up probably, I think, I don't know, 150 bucks, I think 120 bucks from these MP calls. And then this is what you don't want to do, right? You already made money for the day. You made, you know, an 8-hour check, an 8-hour shift payment, right? So like maybe in 5, 10, 15, in 30 minutes you made what you would have made standing around for 8 hours at your job. Okay. So this
That's
is what you,
crazy.
so yeah, this is what you don't want to do, right? What you want to do is hop off the charts and be done for the day, right? You don't want to keep trading. But if you continue to trade, you have the chance of losing your profits and possibly even more, you know.
Yeah.
So now we have the same day, right? Like I said, we should have hopped off the charts. Um, let's see where we at. So Monday. So then at let's see, what is this? 13:52. So for me, I think that's what 12:52. So 12:52, right? I took longs on SPY, right? So I'll show you a little why. I'll show you why I took this trade, why I thought we were gonna go higher, right? So I'm on the 5 minute. I'm looking, you know, just to maybe make, I don't know, maybe another $100 real quick. Okay, cool. So we don't really have nothing holding us up on the 1 hour, 30 minute. We do have something, right? So we have this tiny, tiny, tiny 30-minute fair value gap. So I waited patiently until we got there, right? And then um, we had a sweep lower. We had this sweep lower here. But you should already know, right? So when you're looking at this and you just start getting steep drops, you should not try to. And the EMAs again, we're trying to go higher, but we're under the EMAs, right? So that's a rule broken, right? We don't do that. But the reason I was thinking, oh, it's alright, we'll probably go higher, is because when you come to the 30-minute, right? At this level, we're still above EMAs technically, right? We're not below them yet, so maybe we do go higher from here. But as you can see, right, we ended up not going higher. I ended up getting stopped out. Like I said, we did have a couple confluences, but it just didn't work out in our favor in this case, right? So on the 5 minute,
So in Right. 5 minutes.
we get a sweep into this zone, actually a sweep lower, right? And then um, we have an inverse here, and then we have our CISD here, right? So I entered a trade here with a stop loss right below that candle that started the move. And as you can see, it took about 10 minutes and I got stopped out. So I bought the contracts for 125 bucks. 125 bucks, yeah. And then I sold them for about 50 bucks, right? So now I just lost half of my profits for the day off of the MP long, right? So I lost my money
Oh,
from
that
this
sucks.
play, half my money off this play on this play because I was getting greedy, right? I'm like, oh, let me try to get some more. So boom, took a L.
Oh, that hurts.
And then it's not over yet. Monday was bad.
Oh no.
And then I'm looking at QQQ now, right? Because I'm like, well, shit, I just lost 50 bucks. I'm still green for the day. Keep that in mind, right? I'm still green, right? Like, I haven't lost anything. I'm still up for the day. I should just walk away from the chart and be done. But nope. Um, for some reason, decide, let's keep trading. Silly me, silly me. So then I took some QQQ calls at 14:50 Eastern time, right? So it's going to be 1:15 for me. And again, we do have a setup. We do have a couple confluences, but in this trade, I'm pretty sure I was way, way, way too zoomed in, right? So that's what happens. This is what happens when you start getting too zoomed in, right? So this is about the time I took the trade, right? At 4 or at 1:15. Yeah, I was definitely chasing this trade too, right? 100% chasing this trade. So we did have, right, we had our CISD on the 3 minute. We had our, our inversion on the 3 minute. Uh, really, really, we really didn't even have that, right? That's the only inversion I could see here at this point. But then our entry wouldn't even be there. It'd be up here at this. But then again, it doesn't even hold at all. So, um, like I said, we did have a couple confluences. We had a liquidity sweep, but this is all in the lower time frame. You want the higher time frame, right? Because as you can see on the higher time frame, this is a major low, right? This isn't a major low. This is a major low right here. So we want to sweep
Oh,
this low. This is a good area to watch. If we sweep it like right here, what do we end up doing, right? We ended up coming back higher. Not this little low right here. Right, you want to look at major lows and highs. So this is a major low. And again, another major low. But yeah, again, right, took another L. Now I'm red for the day. Now I'm down about like probably like 50 bucks or whatever, because I'm like, well, now I'm just trading the trade. Like, what am I doing? So I'm still kind of following my rules. Like, hey, I'm still acknowledging the fact like I shouldn't be trading, but what am I doing, right? Still trading.
you're not giving up on opportunities, right? You're an opportunist.
Yeah, if you want to think of it like that, that's a great way to think about it. And then, uh, cherry on top, right? We have QQQ puts again, same day, Monday. Like I said, this is now we're on our fourth trade. We should have been done at 9:30, or what time was it when our TP hit? We should have been done at 9:30 in the morning. You know what I'm saying? Should have been enjoying our day, not looking at the charts for the rest of the day, and coming back tomorrow to find something else. But then I'm on the charts until 2:15 now. Now we're looking at the charts till 2:15 in the afternoon.
Oh man, get into the power hour.
Exactly. So I was like, well, maybe we'll get something power hour. Fortunately, right? Fortunately for me, this one put me back green for the day, right? So the same place I got stopped out on this trade, I was like, all right, now we actually have a decent setup that actually makes sense, and I'm not just kind of bullshitting. So
Right.
I'm looking at the 10, 15 minute. Trying to figure out, well, what do we have? What do we have? And then I basically just took this right here. Again, thankfully, it turned out in my favor because, yeah, I would have been red for the day. And like I said, we would have been done at 9:30 a.m. So I took this. We had a sweep higher here. We had our inverse, and then we had. Now I'm just looking for continuation, right? Because I took calls on SPY, and then I took calls again on QQQ. I'm like, okay, let's play continuation, right? We're under EMAs. That's a signal that we're going lower. And let's just play continuation. Don't go against the grain, right? So I finally, I took these shorts here. Um, I literally just took it to this low here. Why? Because market's literally about to close, and all I'm doing is playing 0 DTE contracts. Great way to lose your money, especially towards the end of the day. Because if it didn't make this move, I would have been even more red for the day, right?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, you don't have much time to sell those.
Yeah. So this was, thankfully, we got almost a $2 drop within the last 5 minutes of the market, right? Thankfully. But I took it here. They ended up going a little bit further, as you can see, um, down to 570. Yeah, about a $2 move. But yeah, that's what you don't want to do. That was Monday again. So we were 2 for 4 on Monday. MP calls and QQQ puts saved the day. And then Tuesday. Let's go over Tuesday. You have any questions about any of those trades I was taking?
I don't think so.
All right, cool. We'll get right into it. Um, Next day, Tuesday, Palantir calls. Um, this day was perfect. I took these calls. This is the only trade I took for the day. Why? Because I had flashbacks from yesterday. Oh, I should keep trading? No, I should not keep trading.
You had CISD PTSD.
Exactly. Exactly. So let's see here. Right. So Tuesday, right? So again, this is market. This is market close. We're about to have market close on Monday. This is Monday afternoon. Monday afternoon, and then boom, we open up on Tuesday, right? What's happening here? Let's figure out what's happening here, right? So, um, when you see, I kind of just start realizing it. I've just seen it a lot. When I see volume, I kind of know what volume looks like, right? Obviously, big candles. I mean, it's pretty obvious what big volume looks like. So, ended up marking this right because it's a fair value gap. They aren't 3 bearish, right? But it's still a fair value gap that we can potentially inverse right at market open. And then boom, we have our CISD, the top of this candle here. And what am I gonna do? I'm gonna place my long. This is too big of a stop loss for me, right? I'm not gonna wait. I'm not gonna enter at 5 or 157 and wait for it to go all the way down $2 to stop out of my position, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to mark anything under, again, anything under my EMAs, right? Because we're coming back above them here. Anything under my EMAs, I'd be stopping out of my trade. Candle closes, especially at market open, right? So like I said, candle closes. Did we get our candle closed? No, we did not. So we're still in the trade. And now we want to look for some highs, right? So we have this high here. We have another high here. And then we have these highs over here. Mark it about like right here. Then we can move this a little higher right here to the top of this candle. And then 15-minute trade, and I was off the charts. Why? Because I kind of explained to you the day before I spent my entire day on the charts, and I did not need to do that, right? So Tuesday was a
So
great day. Um, I had, let's see, Palantir. So I had 6 contracts, right? Bought 6 contracts here, and then sold one here, sold another here, and I'm pretty sure I took everything off at this high. Why? Because I had 160 calls, right? So I was aiming for 160. So as soon as we get up here to 160, 62, that's a $3 move, right? That we just caught. So now we're in the money. Our contracts are in the money, so they're paying us more. And I was out.
That's awesome. I was gonna ask if you were gonna incrementally sell them based on those high points that you marked.
Yeah, I try to, especially when I see big volume like this, I try to hold more to the end. So, like I said, I sold one here. I had 6 contracts, sold one here, and then I dumped my whole position here. So I sold all 4. Um,
Nice.
but shit, sorry. But as you can see, right, we created a bullish for value gap. I mean, we're not coming close to going under it, so I should not have closed my entire position here. I should have left some runners because we do have more highs, right? We have a high here, and then cherry on top, high up here. I don't think we ended up making it that high, but so yeah. So you would have been out of your position, right? We have our fair value gap created here. We would have been out of our position completely right here. Why? Because we're trying to protect our profits for the day at this point. We've already caught a $4 move, right? That's enough. You don't need to get greedy. You don't need to keep holding it. So as soon as we come right here, come below this fair value gap here, we're out.
I gotcha.
And as you can see, right, we have resistance. So we came high. Again, we tried to come high again. Tried to come high again, but couldn't. So now we're out of our trade over here. Because now on the 5-minute, right, we are coming below our EMAs. And that is our stop out point. So that was Tuesday trade, one and done, simple, right? And then Wednesday, we have Apple calls and NVIDIA puts. So this is not market close just yet. Not market close just yet. Alright, cool. And then this is market open the next day. Again, as you can tell off the rip, right? Lots of volume to the upside. Big candles, you see this all day, and then you get market open, and then you start getting big candles. So that tells me, oh, volume. Alright, cool. Well, what else do we have this day, right? We have, I'm pretty sure we had a daily inside. So same thing, right? We just have a daily inside bar. It did close on the breakout level, but that just gives me more of a reason to take the trade, right? So this is our breakout level right here. So we're going to mark that. And again, what else do we have? Right, we have inverse fair value gap. Right, what do we have down here? We have a sweep of major lows. We had a low here, a low here. We swept those major lows, right, to potentially go higher. We don't know if we're going higher yet, but it looks like it, right? So what ends up happening, we get our breakout level. Let's go to the 5-minute. So we're going to place, this was a tricky day, I'm not going to lie, but I did catch, I think it was like 25 or 30% on this, and I was out.
Dang.
Yeah. Why? Because I'll show you in a second. Volume just started dying down, and I wasn't liking it anymore. So what do we get, right? we got our breakout. Let me see what kind of contracts I grabbed this day. I grabbed Apple 230 calls, right? So I was aiming for 230. I wasn't aiming too high for anything crazy. I was aiming for 230. So that's probably about where I had my position set. And then again, I'm not going to wait for it to come all the way down here to stop out when I'm entering at 229. I'm not going to wait for it to go down $2 to stop out of my position. So I'm going to put it up here next to EMAs, or even just a tad under the EMAs, or like you can see it says 228.61 is at that EMA. So maybe I'll put it 228.50, right? Something like that. Candle close below these candles. Again, why? Because what do we create? Fair value gap. We got our bullish fair value gap. So this is our support zone now. So anything below this, now we're inversing it, because now we have multiple confluences to go lower, right? So this would be a setup to our downside. So like I said, this day, I think I explained it to you. So I had entered some contracts around here, 229.40, 229.50, and then I actually averaged down some down here because I wanted a cheaper price for my contracts, right? So if we did end up going higher, we would get paid more. Again, this is our stop out down here. Why? Because we'd be inversing this to go lower. As you can see, we did get our breakout real strong in the morning, but like I said, we started dying down on our volume started dying down. And I was like, are you serious, bro? Like, come on. But let's see, right? We have a fair value gap created, so that's more support. And this is all I'm using. This is all I'm using to hold my trades. Like, I really wanted, this is what sticking to your rules does for you, right? I really wanted to get out of the trade right here, right? Because I'm like, well, shit. Well, that wouldn't be following your rules. Why? Because it didn't even come below this fair value gap yet. So there's no reason to even close your trade, you know. As you can see, it's taking a little bit. I'm over here sweating. I'm like, bro. I'm like, I just want this one high.
I just want this one high.
Just want this one high taken. That's all I want. I think this high
It was
was
taunting you.
exactly. Uh, so I'm pretty sure, right? I'm pretty sure I took it at this high. Everything I was out at this high. Why? Because like I said, I didn't like the volume. It's that simple. If you don't like something, then you know you don't use it, or you don't. Yeah, exactly. And what do we end up doing? Like I said, I ended up taking most of it here at this high. Why? Because I didn't like the volume we had. Yeah, small trade, but sorry, it's okay, right? I ended up just consolidating the whole day, and then we actually did end up making a move higher the next day. I was watching it, but this is a bunch of, to me, this is just a bunch of bullshit, right? And then this is market open. So we had a wick all the way down here, coming to a relevant zone, right? And then we actually did have a push higher. Nothing crazy though. We did have a push higher. I think 233. We saw 233, and then we came back, started moving, making a move back down. But Apple, I don't know. Apple just hasn't been trading all that well recently. I don't know what's up with Apple. But that is a good trade, right? If I did grab some contracts for
Oh
like
yeah.
the week, you know, it's a pretty good trade.
It was the only stock that I noticed today had a decent amount of activity.
Apple, yeah,
Yeah.
it did hold its levels today. I was watching that too. I was like, okay, Apple isn't dumping like everything else. That's a good
Right.
sign, you know, that Apple wants to continue higher. And then, like I said, I took this trade. I was in pretty heavy, so I think I made about like 300-400 bucks on this. Just this little tiny move from a dollar move, not even. Well, I mean, I guess I did average in some at 220 around this fair value gap. So 228 to 230, 80, you know. So about a $2 move. We still got paid. Um, and then we took Nvidia puts same day, right? Um, let's see. Let me see what time I took these at. 14:58. So that's gonna be up here. So Nvidia actually had earnings this day, and I was gonna play earnings, but I figured I wouldn't because earnings are usually manipulated. It doesn't matter if it's green earnings, the stock could still gap down. For example, right? Green earnings, what do we do? Come down. But we had a setup, right? So we had our 10-minute inversion up top.
That wick is crazy tall.
I know, right? Ridiculous. So I'm trying to figure out here. Um, 58. Okay. So I think I was maybe on the 15-minute here. Because I remember it being super clear in my, yeah. So I was here, right? And then, what do we have? We have our CISD right here. So, right, what do we do? Right, we had highs over here, major highs, right? Not no internal liquidity. That's another thing I would be teaching you: internal liquidity and external liquidity. So this would be an example of grabbing internal liquidity to go higher, but then this would be an example of grabbing external liquidity to go lower, right? So major high swept, and then we have our setup. We have an inverse fair value gap, and this is something I'm gonna teach you too. So when there's news and your setup, usually it's called a driver, right? The news is a driver, but usually your setup is going to play out. And I've seen it way too many times. Like I've called out, um, I think it was like not this earnings for Nvidia, but the Fed about probably like a month ago had a meeting. They said something about interest rates. It wasn't too good, so the whole market dumped. But my setup was there, right? And news actually took my trade the right direction, and the cons ended up going insane, like 1,500%. And I called out for the Discord and everything. And like, how do you, like, how do you trade news? Everyone's asking, how do you trade news? I'm like, I mean, my setup was just there. I just trusted that my setup was there and everything was going to work out. I had my stop loss in place just in case it didn't work out, just like any other trade. But news brings volume, lots of volume.
Okay, that's good to know because I keep hearing and reading that like don't trade off of the news, and then other people are like, well, yeah, it influences the market. And so I wondered how that came into play, but that makes a lot of sense. It just gives a lot of power behind the moves that you're already
Exactly.
planning on.
And I'll go over one of the news trades that I did call out for the Discord I was just telling you about. But this trade, right, I took this at the end of the day. I didn't want to play earnings, but my setup was there. And I mean, I should have played earnings. Why? Because I would have caught this entire move. Even though we rebounded in the morning, right? But I mean, if you want to be technical, right? Did we ever get a candle close? Right? So that's why you want to sometimes wait for your candle to close. Because yes, we did come up high, but we ended up coming lower without a candle close.
That's a good example of
Not,
that.
not even on the 5 minute, right? So all we did was wick super high as soon as we opened, and not even 5 minutes, right? Let's see, 3 minute. See, we didn't even close on 3 minute either, right? So keep that in mind. Sometimes candle closes will save your ass. I mean, I'm sure on the 1 minute we had a candle close, right? But that's why it's crucial to stay on the higher time frames. Even on this, just staying on the 3 minute would have saved your ass. 5 minutes, you can even We didn't even get close to closing up there, you know. And 10 minute again, didn't really even get close to closing. But like I said, I didn't end up playing earnings. I just kind of wanted to scalp because I did see my setup. We had an external sweep of liquidity up top, and then I literally took my contract off at this low right here. I had one contract, nothing crazy, but I caught the move right there. The contracts for like $600. And then this little move
Like,
right here, it was like 10%, and I got like $100 off of that.
nice. Hey, a win is a win. That's awesome.
Yeah, and I was like, damn, these contracts are expensive, bro. I shouldn't even be trading this shit. But then, if I would have held it, that $500 contract the next day probably would have been probably almost $1,000.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but another green day, right? And then we have Thursday. So Thursday, I'll show you exactly what happened. Um, yeah, I'll show you exactly what happened. All the trades I took after this were revenge trades. So basically right when something doesn't go your way in the market, and then you're like, well, fuck it, at this point. But in reality, nothing's even wrong. But you're just in your head now, like, damn, I missed that. Like, okay, what can I catch next? Now you're looking through a bunch of stocks trying to find, like, why is this one pumping crazy but the other one's not? Like, you just start going through a rabbit hole. But
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah.
so open up. I was bullish, right, already on Google, um, on Thursday. So where's Thursday at? So Thursday's here, right? Let's see. Let's go down to the lower time frame. A replay mode. Let me. So this is Wednesday at close, right? What do we have? We have our daily inside. I'm sure it's a date. Yep. So we have our daily inside. So we're gonna mark this. We have our mother candle here and our child candle here. I mean, you could even mark it here, right? But I just seen it a lot, and you might as well just mark this candle. And also into the 4 hour, and as you can see, right, we have an inside, inside, inside. So I'm just gonna mark this level right here. And this is Wednesday AM. So, all right, we'll come down here. So, looking at it, right, obviously we have support zone here. So this is bullish, right? Every time we come back to it, we don't want to go lower, right? So I'm bullish, right? And then we have, this is still Wednesday. Let me fast forward a little bit. Oh, a little too far. So we'll come down again, we'll come down here. And what do we have, right? So we have an inverse fair value gap. The 1 hour is, I don't know, something about the 1 hour is golden. The 1 hour on any time frame using this strategy, if you have your confluences, it's just been golden for me. Like, I've had no problem at all with the 1 hour or even the 30 minute, but it's golden.
That's
It's
So then again, right, we have our inverse, and then we have our CISD at the top of this candle, and the CISD almost lines up directly with our breakout level, right? So what are we gonna do? Replace our long, and then this is Google all-time highs, right? So I figured if we get this inverse here, we're probably going to run to all-time highs. We're probably going to see new all-time highs. And what do? Literally just run to all-time highs all day long. But
That's
But
crazy.
So this is where it comes into play, right? So I missed my entry, right? I missed this entry down here. Um, I placed my order, but my contracts did not get filled. The worst thing that could happen, right? Because you see it, you're there, you're ready, but you click the button to buy the contracts, and then your contracts don't get filled. So now you're just like, well, shit, bro. Like, do I keep trying? Do I, like, and you're like, in my case, this is what I did. I was like, fuck it. I'm just gonna go look for something else, right? So now I'm looking at IWM, and now on IWM, first trade I took was IWM calls, or actually I took Amazon calls, I guess, right? This was, um, yeah. Let me make sure real quick. So we went from, yeah. So I went from not getting filled on my Google calls to buying Amazon 235 calls, and this is Thursday, right? Okay, so looks good. Let's go select bar, right? Select bar. So not much looking on the 4 hour. Let's go to the 1 hour. Um, so this is what I saw, right? So we have inverse fair value gap here. We have our CISD here. So we have multiple confluence. We have a liquidity sweep, right? Um, technically, we did take out some internal. We took out this internal low, this internal low. This is the low I'm talking about. So we swept all these lows with this low. Again, into a relevant zone. Big bullish fair value gap. So, what time is it? So, yeah, so like I said, I was done trading Wednesday, so I wasn't really looking at it. But, right. So after I missed the Google trade, I was like, okay, well, we have a breakout on Amazon, which was at this level right here. This level here. I did not use a CISD of any form on this, just purely breakout level. And, right, as you can kind of see, it got a little tricky, right? So what happened here?
Yeah, that's not really your normal, what you're, what you would normally see, I feel like.
Yeah, right. So we had our candle closes at our breakout level, but literally the next 10-minute candle, what do? We literally inversed it, right? So like I was kind of telling you, that's our stop out. So after not being able to take that Google trade, now I'm getting stopped out, right? Now I'm like, what the fuck is going on,
what the
bro?
fuck is going on?
Like why is Google still going up, right? But Amazon isn't. Like what's going on, bro? Like, and then to top it off, right? All it does is come back to this support level that I had marked and ended up continuing higher.
Oh no.
Losing my mind. I'm losing my mind on Thursday, right? I'm like, bro, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
this is pissing me off. Like,
Like
I can't.
stair steps.
Like I was saying, you're not gonna enter at 229 and wait till 227 to stop out, right? That's not what we're gonna do.
Right.
And also
Right.
invalidates our setup. We had our breakout, but we came back below it, and then inverse. We have inverse, so now we're inversing our setup. But then again, right? So if you're looking at the higher time frame, what's happening on the higher time frame? Like I said, we just came down here to support. That's why sometimes, like I was saying, the 1 hour, the 30 minute, they're golden. Because we never even got candle closes below our EMAs on the 1 hour. Let's see a 30 minute. We never even got candle closes on a 30 minute, you know? So yes, this is a good example of you enter your trade and now you start averaging in, right? You average in at a relevant zone, which would have been here, which would have been literally a bottom tick, they call it. So you would have literally entered at the most perfect spot ever, and you would have watched it go higher.
That's wild.
But like I said, that's what I'm saying. Like I would focus on finding these setups on the 30-minute or the 1 hour, and I promise you, you will not miss. Because when I start going, like the 5 minutes good, 15 minutes good, but when I start going, even like right here, the 5 minute, it threw me off 100%. But then again, this is why we have stop outs, because we did invalidate our setup. We did, and it just happened sometimes, right? And the play continued higher. Everything happened I wanted to. We just the market said basically a lot of I'm thinking, right, a lot of people know this strategy. A lot of people use this strategy, right? So if the market wants to say fuck you to a lot of people, right, it's gonna do something like this.
Honestly.
That's what you call getting liquidated, basically. So the market still knows where it wants to go, but do you, right? So I wasn't
Yeah,
confident.
no
I
clue.
was down. Like I said, I entered here. I was down about 30% here, 35. It was
Oof.
hitting 40%. So I was like, fuck, bro. I literally stopped out of my position at this wick right here. Because I was like, bro, I'm confident. I'm confident it's going to go up, bro. But, like, why is it dropping this far, bro? Like, once it crossed this support, I should have been watching, because you start going to low time frames. You're like, what the fuck? Like, are we going to reverse? And we start, getting candle closes down here. You're like, what the fuck is going on right now?
That's
But
crazy.
But in reality,
Yeah.
you want to stay on the higher time frame, because not even on the 15-minute time frame, we didn't even get our candle close below the EMAs. You know, like, yeah, it would have sucked to hold it, but it would have been worth it, right?
Right.
Because now you're following your rules, right? Now you waited. Did you ever get a candle close? No, you didn't. 10-minute, yes, you did, right? But that's what I was saying. I would try to find these setups on the 15, 30, 1 hour. It's just gold. It literally is just gold. But then, right, I get stopped out of this, so I'm down for the day. I'm like, damn, bro, like, I missed my Google. I just got stopped out of Amazon. Now Amazon's going back up. Like, do I even get back in? Like, what do I do? So I'm like, fuck it. I don't want to look at Amazon. I don't want to look at Google. Let's go to IWM. I always trade IWM, right? We can't go wrong with IWM. And then, uh, let's see, Thursday, right? So Thursday, I was bullish. Why? Because we gapped up. Um, I mean, the bias wasn't terribly wrong, right? But I started getting too zoomed in, like I was telling you. We had lots of volume, right? We came from 236 all the way down to 235 in about, I'd say, about 10 minutes, right? So about
Wow.
20 minutes, we made a dollar, almost $2 move, right? So what I see here, I was looking, I was like, well, what do I see? What do I see? Technically, on the 1 hour, there's absolutely nothing, right? No support um, that I can see with my eyes. When it's clear, right? You don't want to make some bullshit up in your head like, oh, yeah, like, let's just use this fair value gap when there's really not. I mean, but this is a good zone, right? It is a good zone. We had support, right? So we can use this zone, and it actually is a 10-minute fair value gap. So I was looking, I was like, okay, well, we came into this support zone on this candle, right? I was like, okay, all right. I was bullish, so I was looking for a long after getting stopped out, and then boom, I started zooming into the 3-minute time frame, right? So now we came into this zone. I was expecting a bounce up of, then we have our inverse here, our CISD here, and I was expecting to go higher. And as you can tell, I was only aiming for this. I was only aiming for this high. Why? Because I was in pretty heavy after taking a loss on Amazon, and I was expecting to get my loss back, and maybe a little bit more green, for the day. Just stop, just be done for the day. But as you can see, I was up for maybe we could be technical here. I was up for maybe 2 minute, 3 minutes, maybe a fourth minute over here. But up for maybe 4 minutes, and then I get stopped out. But keep in mind, I'm following my rules, right? I am following my rules. As much as I don't want to, I am following my rules. I stopped out about 25-30% on this trade. So now I lost Amazon. Now I lost IWM. That's 2 trades. So now I'm down about, I don't know, 300-400 bucks, right? Because I try to keep my losses the same every time. I try to only lose like 200 bucks per trade, right? Because usually my winners do outweigh that 200 bucks. So now this is the trade I called out for the Discord. Now I'm taking puts because I'm like, bro, I'm just trying to get my losses back, bro. Like I need something. Like now you just start, like I said, it's like a rabbit hole, and now you're like, well, fuck, bro. Like, and then
You're just more determined.
yeah, I'm just trying to get my losses back. I'm literally just like, okay, something's got to hit, bro. And then at 10:19, so 9:19, I take it short. And why do I take it short, right? So we had a fair value gap created here. We have a CISD here, which was respected totally, but I'm gonna show you exactly where I went wrong. And we were up. Uh, this was a decent trade, right? We were green. We were green. What happened? I was trying to make back all my money in this trade right here that I lost, which led me to lose even more money. But I could have made my loss smaller for the day, right? So this trade should have looked something like this, and I should have been out. As you can see, chop, consolidation, horrible trade to be in. And when you see this, right, and you get this low taken, you should be out of this trade. Why? Because this is just bullshit. You don't want to trade this right here at all. You do not want to trade this. But like I said, you start going down the rabbit hole. I took 2 L's. Now I'm just trying to get my money back at this point. Like, where's my money? It's got to be somewhere here. And then boom, ended up taking I think it was about 35%, and I was in pretty heavy again, trying to get my losses back. I was up like 100-200 bucks. So instead of being red 400 for the day, I could have been red only 200 for the day. So I could have got back half of my loss from the long right here, right? So, but what did I do? I only trimmed some contracts, not all of them, to hopefully go lower. And we did end up going lower, but as you can see, right, we ended up reversing. Why? Because I thought maybe we were going to go lower like that. So now this is my third trade of the day, and now I just lost even more money. Now I'm down like $500-600, right? And now I'm just like, at this point, usually I'm like, all right, that's enough. Like, what am I doing? Like, if you want to be a profitable trader, you can't be having days like this where you just start losing all your marbles on the charts. Like, you just can't. So then someone called out IWM calls in the Discord, and I was like, all right, enough of me, taking my own trades today. Let me just, copy one of my Discord members, right? And let me see, this was at 11:15, so 10:15. So yeah, so this was a trade again, back in this relevant zone, right? So I'm thinking, okay, I'm still bullish. Why am I even taking puts here, right? I'm just anxious. I'm getting anxious. I'm way too anxious. I shouldn't even be on the charts at this point, right? So now I'm waiting and waiting, and I see something again. But then again, I'm too zoomed in, because on the 5 minute, we don't really have anything. You know what I'm saying? It's just consolidation. But on the 3 minute, it kind of looks like something. That's where it'll get you. So he called out some shit. Um, I literally bought the top and literally got liquidated instantly.
Oh no.
Literally, I was like, bro. So what I did is I was mixing my time frames. Don't ever do this, right? So we had um, a fair value gap created here. Um, I was just trying to play continuation at this point, and we had a fair value gap. That's literally all I was going off of. I thought we were just gonna bounce this fair value gap and make this move up how we did, right? So I set my long here. I waited to come back into this, and my stop out was at the bottom of this candle. Literally, as soon as I entered, I literally exited the trade because I was like, bro, that's crazy, bro. Like, under the EMA. So that's what I'm saying. That like, I'm over here sitting on the 3 minute time frame trying to take trades. You know, it's and then come to find out, if I would have just waited a little bit, you know what I'm saying, just a little bit longer, we have an actual. It's clear now. Now we have an actual fair value gap inverse. So we got our 3 candles. Cool. Now we have an actual CISD, right? We didn't sweep a low, right? But we did right here, and we are respecting this zone that I marked, right? So if I had just waited a little bit longer, we could have made a little bit of our money back for the day. Maybe aim for what? These highs here, right?
Okay, now that's all starting to make
But
sense.
then
Yeah.
again, you see, they didn't even take the high. Now you're, you know what I'm saying? It just gets to a point where you're like, yeah, I shouldn't be on the charts, bro.
Oh.
You see, so that ended up happening, and then to top it off, cherry on top, took one more trade. This is my 5th trade of the day now. All losses. Every single
Oh
one
no.
of every single one of these trades losses, except for the puts. Right, I made a little bit of money on the puts, and then as soon as I got back to break even, I was out of the trade, trying to reclaim some of my loss for the day. So now I'm taking AMD. Now I'm looking at fucking AMD. For whatever reason, I'm looking at AMD. Don't know why at all. Oh
You're
gosh.
hoping to win $1 million.
Yeah. But I mean, I do know I was looking at it right. We had external liquidity right here, right here, right here, almost up here, right? But we did tap into the zone. Um, so as you can see, right, through the day, I took these puts. Let's see, I took these puts at 12:05, so 11:05, right? Took these puts at 11:05, and I'll show you why. 11:05, right? So now I just want to play continuation. Now I'm really just looking to make some of my money back for real. Like, I'm not trying to hit any inverses, none of that. I'm just trying to keep it really simple and make a little bit of a little bit of my money back, right? So I see we have this fair value gap being respected. So I'm like, okay, cool. So we see that being respected. So I'm gonna come right here. I'll mark this for a value gap, right? And then we have our CISD here, right? So I enter my trade at the low, as you'll see in a second, hoping
No.
hoping we get this gap fill, right? And what happens? Instant stop out again. So this is my 5th losing trade of the day. Now I hopped off because I'm down like $700. I'm like, all right, that's enough. I'm done. Like, I can't keep doing this shit today. Literally what I told myself. And as you can see, good thing I stopped out, right? Because it could have been a lot worse. But all right, if I was patient today, the gap did get filled today. That's crazy.
That is
I was like, that's fucking insane, bro. But
that really is. Yeah.
but you know, that's why. So this is a big area. This is the main area you want to watch. You don't want to watch this. You don't on the 10 minute. You don't really have nothing, right? On the 5 minute, you sure as hell don't have nothing. Like I mean, yeah, we respected this, but that's just for now, right? I mean, again, the higher the time frame, the stronger the trend. So as you can see, we had liquidity sweep high, liquidity sweep again high, and then all we did this day was, if you mark out your fibs, right, you got your fibs. All we did was literally just come back, tap into premium. This was just the high and low of the day. The high of the day, the low of the day. All we did was just come back, tap into premium, and just dump.
Wow.
So yeah, that made me mad. I saw that today. I was like, that's crazy. I had the vision, 100% had the vision, but I was trying to revenge trade, right, and just take the trade that day, that day, that day, that day. In reality, I could have just been a little patient, right? Because look, what do we have? Again, like I said, the 30 minute is golden, right? So we marked our fibs. Okay, if our bias is short, if our bias is, oh, we want to go short, okay, wait for it to come back up into premium. Okay, cool. Now what do we have? We have this fair value gap on the 30 minute, right? And then we have our CISD on the 30 minute. What are we gonna do? We're gonna place our position. We're gonna enter right here. Get rid of this. Stop back above premium, right? In my case, I would probably do that, or you could even stop above that inverse. I like to stop above the inverses. Why? Because we didn't even have a candle close. We didn't even have come close to closing above that. But this would have been your entry right here at 167, and now to the gap we go.
Wow.
So that's kind of a good example of the fibs and how they work, right? All they wanted to do was just hold it for one more day until that shit just, as soon as it came back into premium, that happens a lot. As soon as it came right back into premium, and we had news, right? We had news this morning. As soon as it came right back into premium, just dumped.
That's crazy.
But yeah,
That's a big dump too. Like
that
that's a sharp
yeah,
drop
that would
off.
have paid. That would be big. Like I said, I didn't really want to trade today, so I took some IWM puts, and it was literally super light position. It was, I mean, my strategy, used the exact strategy, and made a little bit of money today, but nothing to gain back the losses from yesterday, right? But sometimes you need that. Sometimes you just need to size back down. Um, just stick to what you know, right? So we had our
Yeah.
4 hour marked out, right? So we had a drop. I'll show you what I wanted to take on this, and I do this a lot, but I don't know why. I don't know why I don't take it, because I would have caught this literal entire move right here from 236 to all the way down here, you know. But basically, I waited. Like I said, trade what I know, not trying to do too much. And we had a low right here, and super simple trade, right? This is all it took today, and I was out of the trade. Done.
Oh, that was fast.
Yeah,
That's
just that was our again. That was our 4 hour breakout level, right? So we had our high and low the day before, so that's our range that we're looking to break out of, and then we had a candle closes below, candle closes below. I was very patient today. I waited for a retracement back into this bearish fair value gap. Super patient today. It was just a perfect trade today, and I'm like, why can't every day just be like that, you know? And
right.
but these ended up going. Let's see. Yeah, so I entered up here this fair value gap in literally 3 minutes. I was pretty much out of the trade because
Okay.
the contracts
Okay.
went from 0.20 to 0.40, so that's 100% in about 3 minutes. So I was like, yeah, I'm out. I don't even need to sit on the
Holy
chart no
crap.
more.
Okay,
But
I thought it was vice versa for a second, where it immediately went to your stop loss, but now I understand that was really good.
yeah, stop loss would have been uh, above EMAs, right? So we didn't get close to come above EMAs. So that's why I was like, we're losing EMAs.
Okay.
Like we're not even coming close to them. So if we tap back into this zone right here, this is our breakout zone right here at 235.36. If we come back here, I'm just gonna enter some contracts, and then just aim literally just for the low, which we had a low here. Again, we had a low here, but yeah, about 3 minute trade for me today. But like I said, I went in with like maybe 160 bucks. My usual position is usually like 500 to 700. It could be up to 1,000 bucks. But today I'll play it cool. I'm not trying to do too much today after taking a basically wiped out my profits for the week yesterday. So
Yeah.
yes, I was like, no,
That's
it's
a
okay.
that's a good end to the week though. I mean, even if it wasn't setting any records.
Yeah, of course. But then this is what I wanted to show you, right? Um, so we had our market open. It is a little choppy, but it's probably why I didn't take it. Maybe I see something on the higher time frame. We don't really have nothing. I'm not gonna lie to you. I wish we did, because I would have taken it up here, but we really didn't have anything except for the 3 minute, right? But like I said, I don't really like trading 3 minute. It's just sometimes it's just not it, but other times it's just golden. Like you just never know sometimes. So we have this zone, right? Fair value gap of some sort, whatever you want to call this, right here. We have 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to call this, right? This is a zone obviously being respected too as well. Um, Again, external liquidity. So we have this high. What do? We swept this high, right? Then we ended up inversing this, and then uh, this would have been your CISD, and then you would have placed your short. Boom. Don't let it come back above this zone that's being respected, and aim for lows, right? So instead of waiting to catch just the breakout, now you're waiting. Now you're catching the move from the high to the low and the breakout, right? So it looks something like that instead of just that little piece right there. And displacement, right? We had displacement lower here, so that's a sign. We're probably gonna move lower. Pretty big displacement for a short amount of time. About $1.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then create a fair value gap. Let's see on the 5 minute. Yeah. Create your fair value gap here. You really could have put your stop right at this a candle close above that level right there, and then but then again you got that wick, so I like to watch the little ticks every single time it moves. Like I'll show you real quick. So like when you place your position, oh, what the hell? Yeah, see, so you can see your little ticks as it goes. But if you have it like right here, right, it stops out because that's your stop out area. So I'll just put that shit right at the top of that candle.
Oh, okay. Dang.
But yeah, this feature is cool. Have you messed around with it a little bit? The replay mode?
A little bit. I think part of it you have to have the premium features, which I haven't signed up for yet.
Yeah.
So I can't do a lot of it, but I can do some of it.
Yeah, that's understandable. But yeah, you got any questions?
I don't think so. It is really helpful though to learn like your psychology behind the moves that you're planning on making and then why they didn't work out. Um, it's kind of like learning both like why it did work out and then why it didn't is good for me to be able to kind of have a better grasp of those different confluences and respecting the zones. So that's really helpful.
Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to do a little different today, and go over my weekly recap. Because I felt like, you can be told or taught like, yeah, this is the inverse fair value gap. Yeah, this is CISD, but let me show you what it is. Let me show you what to look for every single time, and let me show you
Right.
if it's being respected instead of just like, yeah. I think the trade recap, this recap that we did right here is, if I was a beginner, I would definitely want to see it in action, 100%.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's really helpful is seeing it in action and kind of knowing what you're seeing as well.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I think that was about what, an hour 30 minutes. So
Oh my gosh, really?
yeah, no, time flies, especially when I just like sit here and do my own thing too. It's just like, I don't know. I guess for me now, it's just turned to a hobby, So
That's awesome. Hey, it's a good hobby to have. I mean, you talk about like dropping out of college and stuff, but this is more in depth than anything I learned in college. I mean, I have an associate's in criminal justice, and this is more in depth than any of the stuff I learned there. So I mean, this is definitely applicable stuff to know that I think even if it's just for a hobby and for fun, that's great. But then if you ever wanted to do more with it too, I think that's really valuable experience and knowledge to have too.
yeah, like I was talking to someone at Costco about this stuff, trading and stuff, and how I got, a couple of students and teaching them, and I've just been doing it for a while now. They're like, bro, you could go like to go get a degree in finance, and I was like, hell no, I'm good, bro. Like, why would I do that, bro? I could just do it from my room.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. It's like, hey, you could spend a lot of money, get the education, and then go benefit a company more than you could just benefit yourself without the education behind it.
Exactly, exactly. And instead of paying the college tuition, like the losses I take, I think of it as a market tuition, right?
Right. Right.
If you
And
want to
that's
go to,
kind of what oh, sorry, go ahead.
cause I mean, just if you want to go to finance or like go get a degree in finance, I mean, thousands of dollars,
Yeah, seriously. Well, and there was one guy, I don't know if you remember Ian, who worked in the meat department for a while. He got a business finance degree and he worked at Costco for like 6 months after graduation, just applying to every single company he could. And then he finally got in somewhere, but it was like he graduated with, a degree in like business financing, and then he went and worked at Costco.
Yeah.
And I don't always I mean, we did Aaron and I both did technical college. And